Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are up bright and early. Why? For the patch notes, of course. It is Thursday before the patch, which means the patch notes are live. So, let's get right into it. First of all, the February update. Fortes Fortuna Aduvat. Yes. Fortes Fortuna Aduvat. Adjuvat. Is it a Jew? Adjuvat. I don't know. For those Italians out there, let me know how badly I just butchered that. But I do apologize. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, maintenance times for Xbox and PlayStation will be 2 to 5 a.m. Central Time, January 31st, which will be next Tuesday, or next Monday. Sorry. So, Sunday night into Monday. Captains, the first update of 2022 is around the corner. A solid batch of new content, including ships of all sorts and colors, awaits you. Let's check it out. Imagine reading those long texts though. Ugh. If that's what you're thinking, a fresh hot portion of TLDR is coming right up. Interesting. Italian battleships arrive in early access with a new shell type to show off. Oh, are we getting SAP? Is that actually being a thing? We'll have to read and find out. Azur Lane returns for Wave 3 of the collaboration. Fantastic. Everybody looking forward to that. Wonder what broken commanders they can come out with next. Preferably an American one. Can we get an American battleship hybrid build where we can have tank build and accuracy? That would be fantastic, wargaming. Would you like to do something like that for the Americans? You did it for the Germans, you did it for the British, you've done all the things. Where's our American hybrid battleship commander? Or, better yet, are we getting a commander that has a dispersion build for the freaking Italians? Anybody? Hopefully? We'll find out. German battleship Brandenburg of Tier 7... representing the Kriegsmarine awaits at the end of the campaign. That's our new campaign ship. Brandenburg, if I remember correctly, is a Bismarck-class bigger Odin, essentially. It is a Bismarck-class battleship that has 4 triple Odin guns, I think. Yeah, I think that's the case. But yeah, torpedoes, it's basically a Tirpitz with Odin guns, and it gets 12 guns. Anyway, cross-platform divisions and friend lists, plus 3 new maps. See? Told you they would be here. So, like I said, when they first, hinted that these were coming, there was no chance that they were going to end up dialing it back or pushing it back. Usually when companies finally come out and say something, they're pretty much done with whatever they've been doing. So they're telling you because reasons. But, yeah, so there's that. Dual ranked. As in 1v1s. Now that's going to be fun. Now is it going to be one where you can be in a battleship versus a destroyer, or is it going to be one in where battleships versus battleships? That's what I'm looking. We'll have to read that when we get there. First aircraft carrier rolls into Bureau along HMS Minotaur. Oh boy. Permanent cost decrease for some Tier 6 premium ships. Lunar New Year celebration brings some fascinating content, and that's not everything. Okay? Before proceeding, let's redeem this code, right here, at this address, right here, to get 6 Regia Marina camos and 1 common crate. There you go. So the Italian battleships, oh my lord. I am not going to get these correct. You guys thought I butchered it before. Oh, we're about to butcher it. Here we go. Are you brave? Because early access Italian battleships are only for courageous captains. Yes. You can get any of these 4 listed below in dedicated Italian battleship regular and big crates. Okay. The guarantee system is active for the big ones. A ship drops at least once every 20 containers. There you go. I mean, in order to guarantee that you get all 5 of these, that means you have to buy at least 100 containers. to guarantee it. You can obviously get all 5 with less than that if you're lucky, but to guarantee that you get all 5, you would have to, yeah. Anyway, next. Tier 4 premium battleships Giulio Cesare is available in the big crates to further expand your forces. It's a great ship, by the way. If you haven't played the Giulio Cesare, it's very, very strong at its tier. Once it goes up against tier 5s and above, that's a little bit different. But against tier 4s, it's very, very strong. And the tier 7 Vittorio Veneto is arriving in the next update to mark the branch moving to the tech tree. So, Vittorio Veneto. Okay. We got Dante Alighieri. That's the best I've got. That's the best I got for tier 3. Then we've got the Conte de Cavour. Right? Conte de Cavour. Come on, Spartan. I know, it's early in the morning, but you got this. Stealing up. Conte de Cavour. Conte de Cavour. Conte de Cavour. Yeah, that's the best I've got. And then, of course, we had the tier 5 Andrea Doria, which is probably Andrea Doria. Because I do like the sound of Italian. I like when Italians are speaking, it does sound really good. When I say it, not so much. But when Italians say it, it sounds pretty good. And then, of course, at tier 6, we have the Francesco Caracciolo. That's the best I got. That is literally the best Italian accent I can ever give you. That's it. We have just went GOAT status. That one I'm fairly confident I got correct. Somebody's gonna have to give me a props for that. Hit the like button if you think I nailed it. The new line brings a new mechanic, semi-AP, including which basically is SAP, semi-armor piercing. Finally coming to the game. Which, by the way, the dev said would never come to the game. But maybe they meant for just the cruisers it wouldn't come to the game. But I'm glad to see it. This is something that is unique to the well, at least as far as I remember, is unique to the Italians. So why take away the things that make a line unique? You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that drives me nuts about the cruisers. Is like they take away their SAP for the cruisers. They took away their rolling smoke for the cruisers, and then when we got them, they were just absolutely dog crap. Then they bring out their rolling smoke and stuff like that and try to make it a little bit more normal. But again, I don't understand why they feel the need to change it so much from PC. It's what makes the line unique. Is it bad for the game? We'll find out. It's not like you haven't done other things that are bad for the game. Surely SAP on these battleships and SAP on the cruisers aren't going to completely destroy the game. Okay? Let's just be real. But anyway, sorry. Little rant. Had to do it. But anyway, these new shells deal high damage when penetrating armor and no damage in case of ricochets or no penetrations. SAP shells do not cause fires or splash damage, and due to detonation on contact, they're unlikely to score citadels. So that's the thing. Like, these are kind of a in between a HE shell and a armor piercing shell. They have good things and bad things about both. Now, one of the things that you like for good players that know where to aim and where they can penetrate, these are going to be absolutely nasty. Okay, for real. If you're giving a broadside to this thing, they're not going to overpin you. Okay, these don't overpin. That's the big thing. So cruisers, beware. Like, these are going to hurt a lot. So they're not as likely to score citadels because they're basically HE, except they don't cause fires, and they aren't quite as good as armor piercing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of a little bit of everything. Okay, it's kind of a little bit of both. It's a midway point between AP and HE. Okay, you can't cause fires with them. You don't normally score citadels, even though I'm pretty sure you can with cruisers, just because you won't overpin the target. So there's that. If you're looking to further expanding your Regia Marina range of ships, don't miss out on a discount on Italian premiums during the first week of the update. Well, let's be real. There's not a whole lot of good Italian premiums out there. I would much rather play the tech tree cruisers than the premium cruisers, if that's just me. But there's a new one coming, the Gorizia. While Battleship Roma is coming back. Like I said, I like Roma. The battleship itself, I like. It's tanky, it's decent when you get up close and personal, but the freaking guns are so bad. So bad. And they force you to run a tank build because they don't give you a dispersion option, which is the only battleship line in the game, or the battleship in the game, that doesn't get that option. Now, hopefully they change that with this new line that they're bringing in. Hopefully we get a new commander to take a look at. Azur Lane returns with wave number 3. I don't know any of these, so there's that. Looks like a great lineup, I'm sure. The wait is over. Reinforcements are here. The new update brings the third wave of our collaboration with Azur Lane, available from February 7th. This time, the content batch includes 6 commanders with unique voiceovers, 3 ships, and the same number of skins, plus a couple of all-new flags. The commanders are available both standalone and through special crates. The commander range includes the Eagle Union, which is U.S. Montpellier, the Sakura Empire, which is the Japan, Azuma, Shokaku, and Yukikaze, and the Northern Parliament Soviet Union, Aurora, and the Sardegna Empire, Italy, Littorio, which has got to be our freaking battleship command. So that's how they're going to do it, right? So they're not going to give us a standard battleship captain. They're going to make this. I'm pretty sure the Littorio, I could be wrong. Pretty sure the Littorio is a battleship. Let's just... Let's just double check. I could be wrong, and I don't want to mislead you guys. Azur Lane, Littorio, it's a battleship. Okay, just double check it. So that's how I figured that's what it was. I'm pretty confident I remember Littorio class battleship in my head somewheres. Okay, but yeah. So anyway, so there's that. The ships and skins are connected to the same characters. The ships arrive with the likes of the Cleveland class Montpellier, Yukikaze, and Aurora, while the skins are presented by Azuma, Shokaku, and Littorio. Oh, it's a skin. Interesting. I guess you're not getting a ship, but you're still getting commander, right? Goes with Roma, which is going to be available in the store. Importantly, 2 ships are different from their prototypes. Montpellier turns quicker but shoots slower than Cleveland. And Azur Lane Yukikaze differs quite a bit by betting on her main guns. They traverse and reload faster, while her torpedoes have increased range, but are slower and easier to spot. All things Aurora are available through a dedicated free bundle that includes the ship with the Northern Parliament flag and a special mission that offers the commander herself as a reward. Interesting. So they're giving you a chance to get a commander and a ship for free. A dedicated free bundle. So, yeah, that could be interesting. We'll cover the newest part of the collaboration in detail in an upcoming blog post. So there's that. And then, of course, the standard disclosure for all the stuff with Azur Lane and blah, blah, blah. And finally, the Pride of Prussia campaign. The headliner of our latest campaign, the German Tier 7 premium battleship Brandenburg, is close to the Bismarck class, but has more guns, coming in with a total of 12 pieces of 12 inches. Yep. So yeah, so it's a Bismarck with, it's a Tirpitz with 305mm guns, but it gets 12 of them. She also has more secondary turrets, which is a lot of firepower. Wait, what? She has more secondaries than the Bismarck? Really? Interesting. With 100 milestones over 5 weeks and the catch-up mechanic enabled, here's what you can get. Here are your rewards without Admiralty backing, worth 15,730 doubloons. And here are your rewards with Admiralty backing, which you also get the stuff before that. So you get all of this plus that, which totals 69,000 memes, 935 doubloons. All right, so there's that. Cross-platform divisions and friend list. You no longer need to persuade your friend which console is superior just because you want them to play with you. We're introducing cross-platform divisions and, of course, friends lists. Those are going to work exactly the same way as they currently do, but just make your friends from the other side eligible to add you so you can play together. Please note that this feature does not cover mobile devices while that version of the game is in the testing phase. Keep an eye on our blog to stay tuned. Keep an eye on our blog and stay tuned. Dueling in Ranked. 1v1, no carriers, 5 season with the ship tiers ascending each season from 3 to 7. Awesome. Great prizes including steel. Awesome. That's all. Get out there and prove you're the best duelist. Importantly, the ship type matchmaking will allow for any combinations. Oh. Okay, so now you gotta worry. If you jump in your battleship, are you gonna run straight into destroyers? Now, I would hope, okay? Now, I really do. I really hope that they put some sort of balance in there to where, I know this is a stupid, what am I thinking? They didn't do any of this. But I'm hoping that destroyers are more likely to be matched with destroyers, battleships are more likely to be matched with battleships, cruisers are more likely to be matched with cruisers, and not just everybody has an equal opportunity to run into one another, and you're going to end up in a battleship versus destroyer 9 times out of 10 because that's what everybody runs in freaking ranked, right? That's why the queue times for ranked is like 60 minutes for freaking destroyers. But yeah, so I know that that's a pipe dream that probably didn't happen. They've probably just said, oh, here you go. You guys asked for it. 1v1 duels. Here you go. Good luck. But they didn't take any freaking, like, come on, man. Like, I wouldn't even be down. I wouldn't even be against having, like, full ranked seasons of destroyer versus destroyer or battleship versus battleship or cruiser versus cruiser. You know, that sort of thing, if that's what it takes. But this could be a pain in the neck. I'm going to still give it a shot. You guys know me. I am not scared. 1v1, I don't care. Like, I am pretty confident in my abilities to 1v1 just about anybody. Now, the problem is, it's going to be ranked. There's going to be caps involved. I'm hoping that they use much smaller maps due to the fact that it's a 1v1. And that the caps that they do put is, like, epicenter modes, and you're going to the center of the map. So that, like, destroyers don't get a huge advantage by being able to just run around the map and cap three bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in a battleship versus destroyer, they can't just do that. That's hope. Okay? So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though. I really am. Despite the fact that I could be in a battleship versus a destroyer. And actually, this is my honest opinion, your best bet would to just be right in the middle. You could be a cruiser. Cruisers can go well against battleships and can go well against destroyers. All you got to do is be good in a cruiser. Make sure you're not getting obliterated when you go up against battleships. So, personally, cruisers probably the way to go here. But we'll see. The double bureau reshuffle. Here we go. We got the Tier 7 Kaga coming to the game. A Japanese aircraft carrier. Mighty HMS Minotaur powered us through the holiday update, and it's now time to take her rightful place among the Bureau projects. If you already own the cruiser from the Theseus Bane campaign, your final project reward will be delivered in the form of 50 million credits. That's a mighty haul if we ever saw one. So if you already have the Minotaur, or the Minotaur, if you already have the Mino, you can do this campaign, or do this Bureau project, and you will be rewarded with 50 million credits, as well as all of the things that you get throughout the Bureau project. So yeah, that's huge. Especially for those people that are hurting on cash. Like, that's huge. 50 million credits is, bleh, it's a lot. I'm trying to think. Be what, 3... See, be 18 and 18 is 36, and 18 would be 52, right? 54. So, not quite. So, two tier 7 ships right here, at least. And then you have enough money to outfit them as well. So, that's a solid payout if you already have it. However, it's not the only new project in our research center. Bid your warmest welcome to the first Bureau aircraft carrier. Humongous Tier 7 Kaga was an essential part of the Marquis Kido Butai battle group of the Japanese Navy. With her bigger squadron, she's certainly worth a try if you want to fill the skies with aircraft. Fantastic. Please note, both the Holiday Bureau and the Dragon Fleet projects are getting deprecated as soon as the new update hits. So make sure you at least start them so that they don't disappear from your bureau. Okay? All you have to do is literally click and start the project, and it will allow you to keep that, and you can research it in time. Highly recommend you do that, especially if you don't speed up the projects and stuff. This allows it to stay in your bureau forever. Okay? Otherwise, it disappears forever, potentially. Lunar New Year celebrations. The year of the tiger is here, and to honor the noble symbol of the turning calendar, we're introducing two themed skins. Courage for Luoyang and Fury for Huang Ye. I hope that I said that correctly. And yes, Huang Ye is a new Pan-Asian ship. She will find more details about the all... Hello? Is a new Pan-Asian ship. You will find more details about all-new premium cruiser in the next section. Dragon, of course, respects the tiger, and he sends yellow and blue dragons as a sign of his appreciation. A little in advance, but still, a small sign of good intentions goes a long way. Interesting. These two ships will be available until the end of the update. What else? You probably need something to use the skin with, so it's time to prepare for Luoyang arriving for Global XP. She will be available for 750,000 Global XP until March 7th, but she's going to leave the store with the arrival of the next update. Ooh. So it's a limited time Global XP ship. It comes as a backslap to the face of anybody who decided that Luoyang was the better option and went for a Luoyang instead of Friesland. Because now you could have gotten Friesland and Luoyang. Wargaming has a way of just smacking somebody right in the mouth. Like, I get it. I went for Friesland, so this is great for me. Right? I didn't buy the Luoyang separately, even though I could have. But this is if you bought that ship because you wanted it and the Friesland, this is literally just a punch right to the groin. Like, they have a way of doing it, man. They really do. They love to do that. Just punch the guys right in the junk. New ships of the update, the Huang Ye. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. That's the closest that I can say. Like, I have no idea. But yeah, so interesting camo. Kind of reminds me of the camos that we got for the Japanese Blue Dragon and what was the other one? I forget. It's not Blue Dragon. What's the other? There's two Japanese cruisers that look like freaking... I can't remember. Anyway, there's two Japanese premium cruisers, the Dragon fleet. And so these kind of look like that. But I kind of like the red and gold. Kind of reminds me of some of my thumbnails from old days when I had the ketchup and mustard going. That's what it reminds me of. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. The Gorizia. That's a... Wow, that's a big bow. Like, is this Pinocchio or what? Like, good lord. How much ship do you need in front of your guns? I mean, I guess if you get overmatched, you're not worried about getting Citadel, unless the Citadel starts like right up here, which would be stupid, but wouldn't put it past them. An Italian heavy cruiser of the Zara class, Gorizia boasts pretty good armor. Due to the Washington Naval Treaty limitation, she lacks torpedo armament, but has access to exhaust smoke generator or defensive AA, sonar, and catapult fighter, which makes her a very versatile counter cruiser, or, to a lesser variant, an anti-air pick. Both ships are or will be available on their own or as part of XXL bundles. Okay, so we get exhaust smoke generator, which is what we've already seen, which is the rolling smoke screens that the Italian cruisers and destroyers get. You get or defensive AA, sonar, and catapult fighter. Ugh. Well, I can already say that nobody's going to choose defensive AA or catapult fighter, so you have to choose sonar here. Like, there's no other option. It's smoke generator and sonar, which is huge. Don't discount this. A freaking Italian cruiser with sonar is huge. So that's your pick right there. I'm looking forward to that. I might actually pick this one up. So look for a meet though on that. I'm probably going to pick this one up because I mean I don't hate the Italian cruisers. I just hate that they don't come with SAP and they don't have the sonar. Like, it makes them very, very bad against destroyers. You can't hunt destroyers with them. So I'm looking forward to this one at least a little bit better, but we'll see. Hearts, Gold, and Silver Ninja Contest. Hearts, Gold, and Silver. God, when I read that, I immediately went back to, like, Pokemon. Like, for real. Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like, straight up. Straight up went Pokemon on me. Special bonuses for the first win of the update. Playing each ship from Tier 4 to Legendary Tier will arrive in form of hearts. Celebrate Valentine's Day by showing your affection to legends. The following bonuses are going to be active from February 14th through the 21st. So for Tier 4 ships, the first win gives you 2 Regia Marina camos. For Tier 5, you get 1,000 global XP. For Tier 6, you get 1 Italian battleship crate. Interesting. Wait, what? So for a total of 7 days, a whole week, the first win in any Tier 6 battleship, or any Tier 6 ship, gives you a battleship crate. Wow. Now, is that... I'm assuming that's only a one-time thing. This isn't going to restack every day, right? Like, I figure that would be not happening, because Wargaming would lose out on a lot of money if that was the case. This must be a one-time deal. Like, once you use a ship to get this crate, that's probably it for the entire update. But that's not the way it sounds. Because it's a first... I don't know. We'll find out. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? For Tier 7, you get 1 promotion order, which, again, huge. Like, this is huge. Like, Tier 7 ships, for a full week, every Tier 7 that you own will get you a promotion order for the first win of the day. That's big. If you own, let's just say, 5 Tier 7 ships, right? That's 5 promotion orders per day for 7 days. That's 35 promotion orders. That's actually big. Okay? So, no joke. This is actually something I'll probably be doing then. Legendary ships, 1 times winter big crate. So, you get a big crate from winter. So, winter big crate and everything that comes with that, obviously, for the 7 days. So, man, I'm telling you, this ain't actually bad. These are nice. I mean, obviously not so much this. Like, if you want camos, there's that. But it's not even that good of a looking camo. But the global XP, for Tier 5 ships, and then, but the Italian big crate, the promotion orders, and the winter big crates, like, those are solid win bonuses. So I'm looking forward to that. Additionally, we have permanently set the cost of all existing and upcoming Tier 6 premium ships to 12,500 doubloons, thus decreasing it from the cost of 15,000 that was in place for some earlier released ships. The compensation for acquiring a duplicate set was set to 18,750, or 18,750,000 credits. The following ships currently available in the store were subject to that change. The Atlanta, fantastic ship. The Boise, fantastic ship. The Kid, fantastic ship. The Ashitaka, less so. I don't really play it. The Scharnhorst, also don't play it. Tanky, but that's about it. France, Les Terrible, and Charlemagne. So, personally, in this, I would go up here. These are my 3. But, of course, I'm biased, right? I love the American ships. But, yeah, I love the Atlanta, I love the Boise, I love the Kid. They're all very good. And Kid is devastating as a destroyer. A destroyer with a heel at Tier 6 is disgusting. It really is. If you discount the Kid, that's at your own demise. Like, that's going to ruin your day. Anyway, one more thing to keep an eye on is the Silver Ninja Contest. Starting February 7th, send us your best screenshots from this update for a chance to win your choice from a selected list and a boatload of credits, with patches and a special flag for all participants. We will select 5 winners with your help, 1 overall winner, and 1 winner for each ship type category. 4 categories in total. But they don't tell us the actual categories. And we get new maps. We got Islands of Ice. Interesting. 3 new maps were added for 6, 7, and Legendary tier battles. Hopefully they're larger maps. Islands of Ice, Shatter, and Warrior's Path. The Islands of Ice map uses a new and beautiful weather preset called Northern Lights. Alright. Looking forward to that. Moreover, domination scenarios were added for Greece and Hotspot, both for AI and standard battles. Balance changes. Oh, we're getting some balance changes, huh? USA the Worcester. The legendary light American cruiser was often dismissed for her performance because it didn't feel up to par with what Cleveland could achieve at Tier 7. As her popularity has continued to wane, we thought we might just try doing something dramatic. So let's see if we've overdone it. Great. Now, the Worcester, the biggest issue, if you guys don't know what the biggest issue with the Worcester is, I would rather be in a Cleveland than a Worcester any day of the week, even though the Worcester gets 32 millimeters of bow armor and the Cleveland does not. Here's the problem with the Worcester. It has a horrendous turning ability. Even if you go full spec into turning this ship, it takes forever to turn. So even at range, it's difficult to dodge anything. Okay? And the penalty for not dodging in this ship is death because of its raised citadel, which the Cleveland doesn't seem to have. Even though you can easily remove Clevelands if they get too cocky. But Worcester has always been just absolutely crapped on by any battleship that gets a chance to actually shoot at it. So, we'll see. This thing goes from a reload time of 6 seconds to 4.6 seconds. That's a huge buff for its DPM. Somebody's going to do the math on that. Probably T-Bull or Tactic, if I had to guess, will do the math on this to get that. Fire setting chances for HE shells increased. Chili might actually do that math too. He's another one of those guys. Fire setting chances for HE shells from 10 to 12%. Fantastic. You know, that's what we have always wanted out of our light cruisers. More fires. Thank you, Wargaming. Fires have never been an issue for this thing. It's the getting hit and dying has been an issue. HE shell penetration increased from 25 to 30 millimeters. So less shatters. It basically, well, it's not quite EOP overall because it's still less than 32, which means it's still going to be shattering on the 32 millimeters of armor that pretty much everything at Legendary Tier has. But this is actually big because it's going to maybe keep you from using the EOP skill because you're not going to get as many shatters, and you'll be able to keep your fire chance instead of halving it. So there's that. Turning circle radius decreased from 750 to 740 meters. So not a big increase, but we'll see how that works. Radar reload decreased from 180 to 120 seconds, so a full minute buff there. That's big. And then shell grouping increased by 2.5%, which again, this thing hasn't really had an issue hitting targets. I mean, other than the fact that it's generally so far away that, you know, light shells take forever to get to the target anyway. So there's that. These represent raw penetration values, which must be greater than the armor that you're hitting by 1 millimeter to penetrate. This means that Worcester is now able to effectively penetrate 29 millimeters of armor with her HE shells. And of course, if you use the EOP, you're still going to start to absolutely smash people, which was already the case before. So there's that. But this basically means that any and all cruisers that it comes up against, it's going to be able to do, with the exception of Edinburgh. It's not going to get it can still shatter on the bow of Edinburgh, but pretty much anywhere else that you hit, you're going to be able to do some serious damage, with the exception of the Colbert, which came in, the Alaska, the Stalingrad. Those all still have 32 millimeters of armor everywhere, I'm fairly confident, with Stalingrad getting that icebreaker bow. But yeah, so this is a big buff. We'll see how it goes, man. I still don't think there's going to be a lot of people using it. Maybe maybe I'm lying. You've got the Colbert out there. You've got, well, I say the Colbert. It's a riddle, so we don't know when it's actually coming, right? But yeah, that's a big thing. Okay, so Alaska is getting nerfed. The large American cruiser was getting up there in performance. Gee, who'd have thunk it? You give a freaking ship like a Alaska railguns, and it overperforms. Who'd have thunk it? The thing hits harder than battleships, is 10 times the accuracy, has faster reload, radar cruiser, 32 millimeters everywhere. Like, why wouldn't people be overperforming? But she's being nerfed. Okay? We've seen even more of a bump in performance during the last 3 seasons of Arena. Who'd have thunk it? We attribute this mostly to Alaska's accuracy. Gee, you think? As you can see, is the target of the current nerf. Main battery shell dispersion circle increased to about 12% on average. This is less dramatic than it looks, with the biggest accuracy hit coming coming at shorter distances. Right. Still, a 12% nerf to accuracy is not exactly tiny. Okay, so even though they try to downplay it by saying it's worse at shorter distances, like I don't know. They didn't back that up with any other stats, so it's hard to tell what they consider shorter distances. AP shell armor piercing decreased by 0.5%, so it's not going to be able to penetrate quite as much. And the shell grouping increased by 2.5%. So the shells are going to stay closer together, but the actual circle that goes around the ship that you're targeting, that means that your shells can land anywhere in that circle, that's going to be 12% larger. So there's that. Germany, Tier 6 York is getting buffed. We got the German Tier 6 cruiser was always the victim of, we feel, misunderstanding and having very popular sisters in Nuremberg and Hipper. I mean, you're obviously forgetting about the Weimar here. Like you're buffing the York, and you're saying, oh, very popular sisters in the Nuremberg and the Hipper. What about the Weimar, which is a light cruiser variant of the York? That sounds like a sister to me, not the Nuremberg and the Hipper. But either way, we've already made attempts to make her more of a universal soldier, and here we're giving another nudge to her AP arsenal in the hopes of making her a good choice for a few more captains. Main battery reload time decreased from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. That's not a joke. And remember, this is not a normal 203mm heavy cruiser. The York gets 210mm guns. So it's reloading those 210mm guns in the same amount of time that a Baltimore, I think, base reload is. Okay? That's no joke. AP shell maximum damage increased from 55 to 6,000 also. So they're not increasing the penetration or anything. And the funny thing about this is, like, when the York was first brought into the game, everybody used to play this thing as an HE, or as like, I tried to use it as an AP guy. Like, you know me, I'm super aggressive, I like to AP it. But the shells were so slow, the reload time was so slow, like, it was sluggish, it didn't want to move very well. The ship was awful when it was first released. And then they buffed it and said, well, guys, you're supposed to be using HE on this ship. And they buffed the HE out of it. And then they're like, well, people are still not using the HE. So now they're buffing the AP, and they're saying it was always, misunderstood. I don't know. Maybe it's just because you guys bring in bad ships and you expect everything to perform the way you guys want it to. Like, nobody wanted to play the York. And the York is still going to be a victim of being dev-struck. Like, what is the difference between a York and a Weimar that a Weimar can be overpinned and a York can't? Like, how many times you dev-strike a Weimar? Sure, it happens. But how many times do you dev-strike a York? Like, the York gets dev-struck so often, that's why nobody wants to play it. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I want you to go in and change the armor to where you overpin it with battleships every time. Cruisers, especially heavy cruisers, but cruisers in general, should be removed from the game when a battleship shoots them. If a battleship aims well, with our slow freaking reload and our ridiculously bad accuracy on most of the battleships, if we finally get the one thing of everything coming together, we should be rewarded with a dev strike on a cruiser that screws up. Like, that should be a thing. It shouldn't be that everything gets overpinned. There has to be a consequence for these freaking cruisers when they decide to make stupid plays. That's the only way they're going to learn. Getting sent back to port is the way you learn not to make the same mistakes over and over again. Right? But that's just a rant from me. Soviet Union Stalingrad also getting a nerf, thank God. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Stalingrad gets balanced anytime it goes broadside to anything. But if it's bow in, that freaking penetration that it has and the shell velocity that it has, this thing literally is the best Russian battleship in the game currently. With maybe exception to the Lenin. Because the Lenin is ridiculous. But Stalingrad, when Stalingrad arrived, she started setting damage records that thankfully didn't get too high up there in average numbers. Which is a good indicator considering the caliber of players that currently have her. That said, we're ready to try and see if those damage spikes can be tempered with a bit of a cut to her AP alpha damage, as well as give her more of a fighting chance to any cruisers that face her by making fires more of a nuisance for the Soviet juggernaut. AP shell maximum damage decreased from 85 to 800, or 8,000, so that's not a huge decrease, but it is a decrease in DPM, and the fire duration increased from 30 to 45 seconds on this ship, so you can burn it down easier. One more change for the highest tier legendary ships were added to more daily and weekly missions. Okay. Aircraft carriers increase delay after attack for all dive bombers by 1 second and decreased attack cooldown for dive bombers by 1 second. So players have more time to observe the results of their bombing run. The cooldown for the attack itself remains the same. That's funny. So you're nerfing them so that they can watch their bombs hit. Interesting. Bug fixes. Maximum speed marker for exhaust smoke generator no longer shows speeds higher than maximum. Some grade 1 permanent camos failed to display the obtained marker in the store after players had purchased and improved them to higher grades. And Gajimada's turrets now correctly rotate 360 degrees. Rare cases of the ship HP bar remaining in the bottom left corner of the screen after losing the ship and moving to free cam. And the Guises and Show Commander's bio buttons have been swapped in the menu for consistency. Okay. Mobile version gets a bunch of updates too. So you got added target cycling on tap. This means that if you have multiple targets in the same vicinity, tapping on the same target multiple times will cycle the target focus between the available targets. Made the player's ship icon a little smaller on the tactical map. Fixed a bug that caused the ship telegraph to be reset to neutral whenever players change the control preset in battle. Fixed a bug that caused the rank upgrade available banner to not disappear from the commander portraits even if there were not enough resources. Fixed a bug that caused the scroll bar in the tech tree on iPhone XR to hide the notch if it was available on the right. Sure, somebody knows what this means. Fixed a bug that caused the hold binocular view to disable the ship movement buttons. Ouch. Fixed a bug that sometimes caused the game to start with a black screen on iPads. Changed main combat camera so that the player's ship occupies a little less space. Aim correction when the reticle is focused on a ship is a little slower and finer now. Finger snapping to move the camera quickly works in a more linear fashion now. HUD elements are a little smaller to obstruct the view less. Drag circles instead of buttons control preset is now the default one to assess the usability by new players. And ship marker hitbox is a little bigger now, so setting focus on them is a little easier. Enjoy the new content and turn the tide. Alright, well that was absolutely ridiculous. I know this was a long one, guys. I apologize if you guys were expecting a much shorter one, but there was a lot to talk about, and I wanted to make sure that we hit on everything. So, are you excited for the new update? Are you upset that your ship got nerfed? Are you happy that your ship got buffed? Let us know down in the comments below, and as always, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.